Okay, so the next bit is how to route that little tiny pocket on the front of the body accurately enough so that you preserve the center line. So the center line of the neck runs right the way down the center line of the body. When these sides of the neck here are not parallel, they taper in. So the way I do it is line up the center line on the neck with the center line on the blank. Line up the neck as straight as you can by eye. Put 2 straight edges against each side of the neck. And then when you come down here, measure to make sure each of these distances is exactly the same. And that then should in theory mean that the center line of the neck runs right down in line with the center line on this blank here. And so having got that as accurately as I can, I'll cut this out. And I'll cut it all out, even though I only need maybe that. I only have to route out about this much on the blank. I'll route it all out for accuracy. Make sure the blank fits in here nice and tightly. And then I'll use this as the router template for routing out the neck pocket on the blank. And I'm sure all that made a lot more sense to me than it did to you. But you'll see it when it's done. Okay, so this is basically just making the router template for the neck pocket, and so I have the center line nicely aligned. It's a very tight fit. I've left it deliberately as a very tight fit, and I'll dress it up later on when I need to on the actual body itself, but I think that's good enough for now. We just have to line this guy up against the body center line. Easily said, not always easily done. And then I just need to route. I only need the first sort of ½ inch or 3/4 of this actual plate, but I did the whole thing because I wanted to make sure it was as straight as possible. Okay, so here's the template. The next challenge is to line it up with the with this existing neck pocket and route it out big enough to take the neck. And I'll measure the distance down, so I only go down the right distance so the fretboard has the right clearance over the top of the body. There's no neck angle on a standard Gibson. I think there might actually be a little angle on this, on the bottom of this cavity here. Yeah, because on a Les Paul you'd have between 1 and 3 degrees typically of a neck angle, but then with that you have the curved top, so the mounting for the strings is up higher. This does rather look as though there's a very slight down angle here. But anyway, we'll see. We're not close to that yet. First thing to do is fit this. One other little complication I think I might encounter down the road is the placing of these pickup cavities might be a little bit off because my fretboard will come right up to the, as close as I can to the pickups to give me the maximum amount of gluing surface. And so it'll be to like about just a couple of mil in front of this pickup socket here. But on a regular SG, the pickup, you typically have about an inch before the pickup. And so I won't know until I try it all out, because usually when I do my own builds, I try to make the pickups line up with harmonic nodal points on the string, so that you get the best maximum amplitude and evenness across the strings and so on. But here I don't have a choice, and of course I won't know until I put the whole thing together and plug it in for the first time. But we're a long way from there, so next is to see if I can get this lined up and route this out. One of the, obviously the big challenges here is to route this neck pocket, since it's so small compared to what you'd normally have, to be as accurate as possible. So the challenge is for the center line of the fingerboard to run right down the center line of the bout of the guitar body. So what I came up with is tag a little bit of wire onto the first fret right in the middle, accurately measured to the center point on the back of the fretboard here, and then with this wire pulled taut that it runs down the center line to the rest of the body. And so theoretically, when we route this out and fit the neck, it should be, the center line should reasonably run straight up and down there, which means when I mount the all the bridge hardware and everything else, that the strings will sit nicely in the center of the fingerboard. That's the goal. So this is what we got. I got to dress it up and square up the corners and stuff, and the depth should be about right. As you can see, we'll have more work to fill in that gap at the bottom. But yeah, we'll find out very soon if we're going to keep going, or if this is a piece of firewood now. Okay guys, I think we got past this hurdle. So that's a reasonably nice comfy fit, and I think we've preserved center line, so that's good. Now I guess I need to get the camera off the tripod to show you what comes next. Here's a slightly better setup so you can see it. So you can see there's a gap here which goes all the way down into underneath the neck pickup cavity. So I'm going to have to fill that, and it needs to be the strongest material that I can use. So it's probably going to be metal, and if I can, I'll sink it slightly into the heel of the guitar as well for better location. One thing this does throw up is the heel of this neck is now way too long, so I could recarve the heel back to about here. So that's something to be considered, but yeah, let's get the joint finished first, and then we see where we go from there.